So we will see the next program, program 8. Write a program to count the number of zeros and ones in two consecutive memory locations. So we have two numbers in the memory and we have to count the number of zeros and ones in that memory location. So before taking this program, let's take one simple example and understand how to find out zeros and ones in a given number, hexa number. All of us know here final representation will be in terms of zeros and ones. So now let us take an example 55 hexa. So if we store it in binary, if we store it in memory, it will be stored in this fashion 0101 8421 code. Apply 8421 code. So now here if you see, it's so easy to calculate manually how many zeros and ones we have in this particular number 55 hexa. We have 4 zeros and 4 ones. Now this particular thing we have to make it automatic, means the program should find out how many zeros and ones are there for the given number. So now let's start with the first rotation. So this is a given number. How will we do? We make use of rotate instruction, rotate on right. So you have to keep one thing in mind. Whenever we are rotating, the numbers are actually the same numbers gets rotated within, and a copy of it will be moving to the carry flag. So we will be monitoring the carry flag, and we will take help of two counters. We will make use of two registers, one for counting ones and other one for counting zeros. Now let's take this number 10101010. So now what we will do, we'll take this particular number and we'll rotate it once towards right. So what will happen? 0 1 0. This 1 is coming to this nibble. 0 1 0, and this particular LSB 1 is coming to the carry flag and it is getting rotated to the MSB. That is what you're seeing here. So this 1 is getting, a copy is going to 1 carry flag and coming to MSB. So when once you get a bit in the carry flag, now you check the carry flag. If it is 1 or 0, if it is 1, increment the counter for 1. If it is 0, increment the counter for 0. Now let's go for one more rotation. So we'll rotate. So rotate right. So what will happen? This one will come here, 0 1 0 1 0 1, and this 0 will go to carry flag and a copy will come and sit in MSB. Now you monitor the carry flag. If it is 0, then you increment the counter for 0. So in the same way you proceed further. The next time you're getting carry flag is 1, increment the counter for 1. Next time you're getting carry flag is 0, increment the counter for 0. And the carry flag is 1, increment the counter for 1. So in this way you proceed how many times? When you will get the complete count, you have to rotate it 8 times, because it is an 8-bit number example I have taken. So 8 times you have to rotate, 8 times you have to check the carry flag. So finally, what is the result you're going to get? So you can see here, finally you are seeing if the counter gets incremented, finally 0, and 0 counter is getting incremented. So finally, how many ones and how many zeros you are having? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So overall 4 and 4. So the total count of number of ones in this number is 4, and the total count of number of zeros in this number is 4. So totally you will get the count as 4 and 4. So this is an 8-bit number. I have taken a simple example because rotation becomes easier. This is the logic we are applying in our program. Now let's go for 32-bit number. Let's take two numbers, 1 1 1 1. We'll take a simple number, but rotation, it becomes more lengthy when we are going with 32-bit. That's why I took 8-bit example. The same thing you have to apply here. Now, as per your syllabus, you have to find out zeros and ones for two consecutive numbers. It is not one number. So this is one number and this is another number, consecutive memory location. So expand it in hexa. So you're seeing 1 is 0001, 001, 001. See, you can see here. So till here, it belongs to this particular number. And from here onwards, this is what? This is A. Again, this is 5, 5, A, 5, 5. So this is the second number. Now, what we have to do, the same logic we have to apply. First, you take the first number. Take the first number, apply rotation. But how many times you have to apply rotation? 32 times. because there I took 8-bit number, so 8 times you have to rotate, but here you have to rotate it 32 times. So this 1 for the first rotation will come off to MSB, and the 0 gets shifted, all the bits will be shifted. When 1 is coming to this MSB, a copy of it is going to the carry flag, and the counter for 1 gets incremented. Again, for the next rotation, if 0 is going to the next number, MSB, so counter of 0 gets incremented. So if you see manually, you can see the first number has how many ones? You can see the first number has how many ones? 8 ones. That is what you're finding out. And how many zeros you're having? You have 3, 6, 12, 15, 18. So you're having around 24 zeros that you're finding out. So my first number, zeros and ones, are over. Now after finding out this, we'll go for the second number. Now the second number, once again you'll apply the same logic. You will rotate it 32 times. So each time you're rotating, you're going to increment the 1 counter and the 0 counter. So to the same counter, you're going to increment. So how many ones are here? You can see 2, 4, 6, 8, like that. So overall, you can see 16 ones you are having. So that will be added to which counter? It is added to the ones counter, and zeros, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 18, 20. So the zeros will be added to zeros counter. So overall 16 and 16. So these two, these are number of 1, these are number of 0. Now it will be added to the ones counter. So totally it is, overall, if you take complete numbers, it will be, overall it will be 24. In case of counter for ones, and here it is number of zeros for the complete two numbers is 40. Now this 24 and 40 are in decimal. We have to convert it into hexa. So I have told you the technique in the previous program. So 24 in decimal, convert it into hexa, it is 18 hexa, and 40 it is 28 hexa. So this is the result that you will be getting for these two numbers. So now let's trace the program. The logic all of you understood. Now let's trace the program. So here all of you know that this is the starting one. Whatever we are writing, it is actually the code segment. The name of this code segment is 10, and data segment you require because you have to declare two numbers. So that will be declared after stop B stop. It's an ending of the program. So you're seeing this value DCD. So this is a data segment. So these are the two numbers that you will be declaring. And for these two numbers, you have to find out how many ones and how many zeros. This we have already seen manually. So for these two numbers, we'll be finding out. So let's start with the program. So so these are the keywords. Area 10. Area is a keyword. Entry is a keyword. Start is a keyword. So this particular name of this code is actually 10, and it is read only. So now let's start the program. Move R2 comma #0. Now this R2 I am making it as counter for 1. Means this register will be incremented whenever it comes across 1. And R3 is a counter for 0. So this gets incremented when it encounters 0 in the carry flag. So initially they are initialized with 0. Now R7 is loaded with 2. Means how many numbers I have to find out? I have to find out in 2 consecutive numbers. Means I have to find out for 2 consecutive numbers. So R7 holds that particular counter. So now let's take the next one. Next instruction, LDR R6 equals value. So what is that? So value is this, I have told you LDR is loading the constant value, equals value means the starting address of the value is loaded to R6. So R6 is holding the address. Assume the address of this number is 00. So R6 is holding the address 000. Now what? The next one we will be using R1. R1 we will use it for a counter for rotational purpose. So in this case, it is a 32-bit number. How many times we have to rotate? 32 times. So that count value, we are going to load it in R1. So let me just summarize. R2 is a counter for 1. R3 is a counter for 0. R7 will hold overall how many number of numbers we have to find out, zeros and ones. And R1 is a counter for performing 32 rotations. So these 4 counters you have to keep track of. Now let's start. Now R6 is holding the starting address. What is the starting address? 000. And what is the content present in that? So what is the content present in that? 111. So this is the first number. So we took this example. We took this example, right? First number. So this 32-bit number will be loaded. That 32-bit number will be loaded into R0. So remember this module 2 I discussed. This is actually the R6 contents is loaded to R0, and after that R6 will be incremented by 4. R6 is holding the address. What is the address? 0000. The content present in that is 1111. So this content is loaded to R0, and now R6 is loaded with the next address. This is pre-index with write back, pre-index, post-index you have studied, no? So this is post-index, means first the contents of R6 is loaded to R0, and later after loading the address gets incremented. Now the address will be pointing to the next value, that is the address will be pointing to this particular number, but right now we'll be working upon this number, and but the address is after performing this we will take this contents. Okay, so for a time being we will leave R6. Okay, so now R0 is holding which number? 1111. So now we will take that R0 contents and we will rotate right. Remember the same logic. So you're going to rotate it right, and now the carry bit gets affected. So this particular instruction BHI will check if the carry bit is 1. If it is 1, it will jump to the ones label. So it will skip these 2 instructions because now it has to increment 1. So which counter we are using for that? R2 is a counter used for incrementing for ones. So R2 gets incremented. After that, what it does, it subtracts R1. So R1 is 32, right? Now it becomes 31. Is it equal to 0? Branch not equal to. Is it equal to 0? We are checking the 0 flag. It is 31. Is it equal to 0? No. So loop 0. Again you come back. Again you rotate. We'll assume now after rotation the carry flag is 0. If it is 0, BHI once means the carry bit is actually 0. It is not 1. So this condition is false. So it will not jump to ones label. So it will execute this instruction, means it will increment the counter for 0. R3 is a counter for counting 0. So R3 gets incremented by 1. After that, it will branch loop 1. So it will skip this particular instruction. Why? Because this we should not increment R2, because R3 is used for incrementing 0. So we should not increment counter for 1. We should only increment counter for 0. Okay, so after incrementing counter for 0, B loop means branch loop 1. So we will skip this instruction and we'll come here. So again, you're going to subtract. Now what is it? R1, now it becomes from 31, it becomes 30. Is it equal to 0? No. Again loop. Again you rotate. Suppose if it is 1, it goes to ones label. And it will skip these 2 instructions. It will increment the R2 counter. Suppose if it is 0, then it will skip this instruction. It will add R3 counter, and after that it will branch to loop 1. So it keeps on decrementing. Once it becomes completely 0, what will happen? This condition becomes false. So immediately the control will come here. Now we are going to subtract R7. What is R7 holding? 2. Now it becomes 1 because we have to count for one more number. So we will decrement it by 1. Is it equal to 0? R7 is 1. It is not equal to 0. So branch not equal to loop. Again we'll come back and we will repeat the same process for the second number. Means this is the second number. This is the second number, and we are going to repeat the same thing for this particular number. So the same thing we are going to repeat it. Once everything becomes When once 32 rotations are over, it comes back. Now again you're going to subtract R7. R7 is what now? 1. 1 minus 1, it is 0. So compare R7 with hash 0. Is it equal? If it is not equal, it is equal. So this condition fails, means it will not go back once again, and there the execution stops. So after that, we have to check the register. So where the result is stored? The result is stored in R2 and R3. You have to check what are the contents present in R2 and R3. There you will get the actual count. So this is a program on finding the zeros and ones.